Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. At long last, we have a live match up and running. Neolution being very late there. But, guys, this is the GDM Dota Masters Tournament. This is the group stage. I believe this is Group D, I think. I'm pretty sure it's sequential in Group D. But, my name is Trife. Casting with, of course, is Gods from Absolute Legends. And right now, we've got this best of one series in the group stage coming up. But no pixel band's been brought out just yet. Neolution taking their time here. Neolution on the Radiant side is sequential on the Dire.
Yep, everything you said there is correct. This is best of one. This is Group D, and so far we only had one other Group D match, which was where, spoiler alert, Zenith did beat GOG in somewhat expected result. I'm talking about there, as Zenith are sort of the clear favourites in this group. But we've got some other talent: SQL, the boys from New Zealand, Neolution from Thailand, and elsewhere in the group we do have teams such as Duskbin and inv-red. Beastmaster finally going to be the band from Neolution Esports. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to go with here. They have been focusing most of their efforts on Dota 1, but they do dabble a bit in Dota 2, and it's not too hard to sort of switch back and forth a bit.
I know some questions asking about who is Sequential. Sequential are a mixed Australian and Kiwi team. We just generally refer to them as Australian teams. Granted, there being at least one Australian on there, we will claim them as our own. But they are generally regarded as roughly the second best in Australia. And all the local tournaments around here, they generally play second against AL. Although it is, generally speaking, you guys, in the local tournaments, you guys don't usually run a full-on roster. Normally Bleak or someone's missing. And Gods himself will step in these cases, or even someone like Black will rock up. Gods will show up to feed just to make things more interesting.
It's funny. We schedule a tournament on European time at 3 or 4 in the morning. Everyone's there on time. We play in an Australian tournament during the day or during the afternoon on a weekend, and people just cannot get out of bed for whatever reason. Is not the funnest thing. But yeah, it looks like Neolution, they've only got 4 of their teammates here. One player is going to be a stand, and that is Yanzis. We're seeing some pretty common bands here. The Lycan, the Darks here. We're seeing a lot of Darks here throughout play, and Lycan as well. We saw in the hands of Zenith being completely unstoppable. Too much pushing power coming out from that hero.
Oh yeah, way too much pushing. I think Yanzis might actually be a Neo guy, but I noticed they were complaining about a name wasn't changing before. Steam wasn't updating the name, so maybe he is a legit player, but it's just that Steam is being a little slow on updating the name. But Invoker being banned, Darkseer being banned, very stock standard bans. I would say Darkseer has been very popular as of late, just because he's so damn good in the solo lane. It's very difficult to shut down his farm with his remote Iron Shell farming, and of course he pushes well, and he does a lot of damage in the early game. Iron Shell really hurts, and he's a great utility technical hero as well. The Surges can save lives, or even just set up kills as well. As we see, the Brewmaster does get banned.
Okay, yeah, somewhat expected there. I'm not sure whether or not Neolution were planning on using it, but it is one of those heroes which teams have not been dealing with all that well. I mean, there was that one game where we saw Panda and Brewmaster. It did go late that game, and it did end up winning, but I think so far it has been winning more than it's been losing. And ES is going to be the first pick from Neolution Esports. So right off the bat, going for what is not commonly first pick, but what does give them some nice sort of strong, stable, and defensive lanes.
Actually, I think Empathy was complaining, that I was claiming all his stuff, but also, I think he made a valid point. I think to SQL, Sequential on the Dire side, they do actually tag up as Giga every now and then. And there is a Giga listed in the North American non-pro, in the non-pro section of the North American Dota 2 Pros League, and that might be the same guy.
This is the same Giga.
Yeah.
This is, they used to be known as Giga. And then they got picked up by SQL, although you'll see Vodki still has the Giga tag at the end of his name because Giga is their net cafe. So I think they're using both tags to some extent because Giga do allow them to play at the net cafe, I think for free.
Yeah, not just free, but when they have tournament, like for the CSS Nationals in 2010, actually Giga paid all the airfares, the accommodation stuff, flew their team over to compete. So they are really on board with esports, and they do really support the teams. And the requirement is, of course, their players show up and play at the NEF Cafe just to promote, to promote the cafe and just make it a more fun environment for people to stop by and check out what's going on. But Tidehunter and Vengeful Spirit being picked up here, 2 very nasty spoilers. Although in this case, we might see Tidehunter get some farm. Not really decided. I mean, it could go either way. He could be a soft support. I mean, usually BS would be the hard support in this situation, but Tidehunter could be soft support, or he might get given the farm because he can do some damage if you play him as a upfront brawler. But Ancient Apparition, haven't seen too much of this guy as of late. He was very popular in Dota 1, I remember, but in Dota 2 never sort of really hit the same popularity, especially since the hero pool has started expanding a lot, especially with Shadow Demon rocking up as well. Haven't seen a lot of AA since then.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been a hero that has phased out a bit. They're probably going to use that comboing with the Earthshake. I think that's going to be their two supports there. We're going to see ES AA in some form of a tri-lane, and we'll see DK either in finishing off that tri-lane, or I'd say more likely he could be just their solo mid hero. We saw Burning run a solo mid DK up against Ritter, which was just very, very scary, unstoppable, just tanked up nice early, and they just pushed down twice using it. So maybe Neolution Esports will look to round off their tri-lane with something that has some pushing power or can do a bit of DPS, such as a Mirana, as SQL go with the Enigma. They've got some nice, strong laning heroes of their own, and a bit more versatile than the ES and AA combo.
And so I noticed in the chat, I think Empathy or someone was calling out, who is the Brewmaster? Or who's the third die band? This is the Brewmaster. He has just received a reskin. They've made, because the idea was, everybody thought he was like, what is this cat badger thing? Turns out they were going for more of the red panda look, which looks a little bit more like a ferret. But it was basically Valve's way of thumbing their nose at Blizzard busy trying to sue them over Dota / Warcraft related stuff and pandas in general. But they have gone with that, or maybe if you, a more diplomatic interpretation would be it's an homage. It's just representing the roots of the Brewmaster. But I think it's more just Valve thumbing their nose at them. But Ricky though being banned, which is interesting. Normally I would see Anti-Mage get banned up before that, but maybe they're planning or hoping they can get their hands on. They will have the second pick going into the second pick phase. So.
Yeah, they'll have the second pick going up here. We're going to see the last couple of bans. Ricky being banned. I guess SQL not want to verse that in that trial lane. Shadow Fiend, Slada, the two bans for Neolution Esports.
Different.
I'm not sure whether or not yeah, different for sure. Fumofu every now and then will play that solo mid Shadow Fiend. Fumofu in general plays their solo mid role. We'll see Tux generally on the side lane solo, and then the remaining three players will be their sort of tri lane, or with Vodki and K Phoenix playing their two supports. Envy, also known as Jamie, is their main carry player. And Prophet is the last ban. Prophet going very far into the pool, and this kind of shows that Prophet is no longer the hero he once was, not the favorite pick that he used to be back in. But back when the pool was a lot smaller, a lot more limited in what you could do.
I should have mentioned one of the fastest ways to wreck a strength carry would be negative armor, and Slada does pack that in loads. Shadow Fiend a little bit less so. I don't think they took him out so much for the neg armor, but more because, like you said, they're a little bit worried about what SQL might do with them. I'm actually not sure if these teams have clashed before, but yeah, Shadow Fiend definitely a slightly different ban, so it would make more sense in the terms it might be a respect ban if these two teams, well, if Neolution are familiar with SQL and whether or not they've played them before. But definitely, the fastest way to wreck a strength carry, stack negative armor all over his ass. Just throw on your amp damage, throw on your medallion, whatever else you got. The Vengeful Spirit, Wave of Terror. And I mean, even though Dragon Knight has got decent armor because his passive obviously levels up, as a strength hero, he doesn't gain a whole lot. So it will really seriously hurt him.
Yeah, all that minus armor, when you do stack it, it is painful. And we're going to see a puck being picked up for Neolution Esports. That's going to likely be their side lane solo. And there's the carry coming out for SQL. It's going to be a Morphling. And that means we're not going to be seeing a Tide Farmer by the looks of it. We're going to be seeing a VS Tide Morphling trialing most likely. With that said, I shouldn't jump to too many conclusions, as some of the Chinese teams, including DK, have run a Tide Hunter solo mid before. And that is always a possibility.
I don't think that's a terrible lane. I mean, as long as you're not up against something horrendously difficult to handle, I think that's perfectly doable. Just because Anchor Smash, he can farm relatively well with Anchor Smash, and he's a decent threat. With levels, once he gets a couple of levels up, he's a relatively decent threat. Just because Gush and Anchor Smash can do a fair amount of damage together. Negative armor and physical damage always hurting.
Well, and with the Neolution lineup, they could be going with DK solo mid, so Tide is fairly, I mean, he can farm against the DK, he can get the levels he needs. It will pretty much be one of those sort of null lanes where both heroes farm fairly well, and Tide Hunter could get the levels and farm he needs if they want to use him as a hero who rushes the Arcane Boots, gets the pipe up, but it's not going to be a DK solo mid. They've got the Storm Spirit, so DK probably going to go into that tri lane with the Storm Spirit soloing up the mid lane. And what are SQL going to pick? If they want some sort of disables to do it with him, they could go for the Shadow Shaman or the Lion here, as they haven't picked up a solo mid hero of their own yet.
I find the Puck an interesting choice because, like you said, they will probably be using him as a suicide solo. So, I know Windrunner's still on the board. She is the go-to suicide hero, and the Puck choice. Puck has better AOE. I mean, if you get him a bit of farm, but Windrunner's, I think, just more reliable all around. Puck can really suffer.
I agree. Windrunner's a great hero because you can also get those key utility items. You can get up the mech or the pipe, 4 stars, these items you need. What it is right now, they don't really have a mech buy. Maybe AA, but AA as their main support. AA is going to be there in the 5th slot, the primary support, not going to farm up a mech anytime soon. So they've got the DK who could go for the pipe if they want to go for that kind of style of play, but as it looks like they're going to focus on winning their lanes and then maybe not try to go for that sort of mid-game push with the pipe, the mech, and just sort of focus on keep getting further ahead and farming. And Shadow Demon is going to be the solo mid hero, I believe, that we're going to see from Mofu playing up against that Storm Threat. Definitely Shadow Demon has the advantage there with that poison sack.
Yeah, his threat range is just so much bigger. That's really what gives him that massive advantage there. But on the other hand, I mean, I know a lot of people would go Shadow Demon, that's a support hero. Shadow Demon is like AA, can be run support, but often will also, it does well with solo mid. He can do well with levels and just a little bit of early farm, can do really, really strong. But yeah, I would not be surprised to see Tidehunter supported by Venture, and they might even go for an aggressive lane, aggressive group, just because it's a lot easier for them if they go to the short lane, the hard lane, they can gank really easily from there, go on top, because I mean, Storm Spirit, short range, he's going to be coming down the ramp a lot, he's going to lose vision on the top of the ramp behind him, and it's going to be a lot easier to jump him, also squishy as well. As long as they go before level 6, he will be pretty easy to shut down, I think.
5 seconds.
So I really would like to see an aggressive lane, just a lot of pressure applied to Storm Spirit, because he's one of those heroes you don't want to let him get out of control. Gets very scary very quickly.
Yeah, and they're going to maybe focus a few early ganks on him. They've got the VS and Tide who can roam around, maybe pick up some early smokes, look for those ganks, as we are going to see just what the two teams decide to do as they will be roaming on outwards soon. Quick Pause coming out from SQL, going for probably one of their token smoke go breaks, even though they've had about 1 hour to do that. No, they're ready.
No, shout out to SQL for actually being ready ahead of time. That was fantastic for them. Neolution, still in my bad books, throwing it out there. And I think I remember to change the overlays. Let me just double check, because obviously we changed them and changed them back. Then yeah, okay, I did change them back. Excellent. They are correct. They are indeed correct. A 5-man sweep here from SQL. Obviously learning from AL's playbook, having played against so many times. Sweep as 5-man through the enemy jungle. I think everybody knows this about Absolute Legends by now. Just 9 times out of 10, always through the enemy jungle. Safety in numbers, going to plant those blocking wards, then get the hell out, split up to your own lanes. So we're not dead sure how they're going to run these lanes as of yet.
Yep, and SQL, they've got the early sentry wards on the Tide, so VS, looks like VS has gotten both chicken and observer wards. Tide will have the sentry wards. That means they're going to run that tri-lane top, use those sentry wards to make sure they have the creep pull option, and it is going to be the Enigma in the hands of Cuck, soloing this bottom lane with Fumo mid, and they're going to find the AA. Ooh.
AA in a fair bit of trouble there. Oh, it doesn't get Fog. Messing up the bench. Although there's a tree cut though. And now I think he's in some serious trouble. There's a waveform. Going to try and body block. Here comes DK. There's the banish. DK's got Dragon Tail up and ready to go. There are the illusions spawning out now. The stun goes down. Cold Feet also getting thrown in. First blood though. Going to Vodki, the Vengeful Spirit. I'm going to say Gods, just throwing something out there. I've actually seen early sentries be used very effectively in offensive trials as well. And basically they just take them and use them to counter ward if wards are being thrown up to protect the mid lane. So that makes it very easy for them to roam through and gank the guy from mid. Because I mean, ward there really makes it difficult to get those successful mid ganks off, or even one over here by the behind, basically next to the lane. Makes it very, very annoying. But I think you're right. They will be going top.
Yeah, and we're going to see Enigma probably going to deny creep up soon. He actually, Vengeful Spirit and Titan are still near bottom lane, as VS will find an invis rune. It is going to be the Neolution tri-lane at bottom. With the Enigma there, they can't really do much to gank that lane. ES, AA, just too much sort of fighting power, but then what they can do is get a gank on this mid lane. Banish is going to go down. VS and Tide coming in. Gush and Stun will follow. Needs to Gush sooner to get the bonus down from those illusions. There we go, as Storm Spirit will go down here. Tidehunter getting the kill, VS getting low, but SQL, a quick 2-0 lead.
They're doing extremely well, very, very aggressive. Not sure if Neolution expected that much aggression. We see here Enigma holding all the way back. He, of course, does need to be very careful. Cold Feet, Fissure, Dragon Tail, a lot of lockdown there. It would be in some serious... If he gets caught out, he's in some serious doo-doo. So he will be hanging as far back as he needs to. And just going to be using the Eidolons to farm, which is going to be effective, I think, up until about the point where where DK managed to start leveling Dragon Breath and has the Soul Ring up and running. Assuming he goes for that. He might find it a little bit difficult to keep them alive then, but here we go, there's the Gush there on Puck. He's probably going to try and dodge the Magic Missile, gets hit in the face with Magic Missile. There is the Ethereal Jaw, one more real attack, can they get him? Gets blocked by Creep, gets his pot knocked off, doesn't go down, but still a very frustrating result. And now he's down, he's going to have to go back to base and heal, there's no way he can stand up, they're just healing from tangos.
Yeah, they haven't got any salvage. Just got a couple of tangos split between their heroes. Unless they want to go for another maybe smoke towards mid. But speaking of mid lane, ES and AA have made an appearance there. And the Dire team, I don't think they know. They might know this. I believe they may have actually walked past this observer ward. As DK now alone at bottom against Enigma. And yeah, Shadow Demon needs to be careful.
Yeah, DK should do pretty well, although if they leave him alone for too long in Enigma, as I mean, Eidolons, they hurt. They really do hurt, so if he starts spawning a crap load of Eidolons, starts putting a lot of pressure on DK, DK might suffer a little bit at these low levels, especially since no levels in Dragon's Blood yet. That could be a bit of an issue if he starts having a lot of pressure applied on him right now. But as of yet, Vodki's sitting on up top. It looks like Tidehunter will be pulling. They're just going to control this lane. In fact, they've already stacked it. And I think there was Pink making motions and he thinks there might be a ward up there. As you see that poison already abusing the range on that, being very frustrating there, stacking and stacking it all over this bench, all over this Storm Spirit. Meanwhile though, the supports have rolled back to the bottom lane for the Radiant side.
Yeah, not really finding too much success with their roaming. AA level 1, ES level 2, they definitely can't fall too far behind. The Dire team, SQL doing a great job stacking this pool, and they're going to get a bit of levels and farm because of that. While Morphling will still get the levels and farm he needs in the lane. ESAA, I feel like they need to pick up a smoke, try and smoke, get a gank on the mid lane to help this Storm out. As Fumofu on the Shadow Demon, going to find a haste rune at top, and he's taking control of this mid lane. Stormster is under-leveled and under-farmed.
He's struggling just a bit, is he not? There we go. Again, that poison, so damn annoying. Also, fast bottle there on the Shadow Demon has picked up the bottle, has also managed to bottle the haste route in there, ready to go. I mean, Storm Spirit is not too careful. He could go down. He's sitting on about half health. Has got a couple of salves left, though, so if he heals up, he should be fine. But if he decides to risk it and hold on them for a bit later, he'll probably regret it once those haste runes get popped out. Although I think he's got a bottle on the way, actually. Yeah, there it is. He has received his own bottle. And he managed to, almost pull the creep wave into the easy camp. They're very close. And there's a stun down the bottom lane. Oh, Enigma, all sorts of screwed. It does proc. There's the cold beat. Gets his item before he goes down. Doesn't matter though. It gets cleaned up there by Dragon Knight's Flame Breath. Dragon Knight has got one level. It looks like he will be going for a maxing Flame Breath build, which I think is perfectly fine.
Yeah, this is, to me, the most logical DK build. For almost for 90% of situations, the only time you don't want to do this is if you're against a trial lane or something and you're soloing. Maxing the Flame Breath, you only need 1 point in stun. The stun at level 1 is 2.5 seconds of stun. When you level it up, it doesn't actually scale that well. You only get 0.25 seconds more, so it's not all that good. ES will find the injuries room. He does get spotted by the observer, so Shadow Demon should know what's up, but they've got the kill on mid lane. Storm going down again.
Visha could snipe this bench, does manage to clean her up, and he's not going to take any response, but he will just back up. He's got 3 clarities, so I'm going to pop them out. As I see Empathy getting sick of Australians claiming the one New Zealand team. I'm sorry, that's the Australian way. You know you belong to us. You know you Kiwis are just a state of Australia. Now I'm going to get a lot of hate mail from the Kiwis. It's the Australian way. If you can't play football, go and find the Italians, go and find the Greeks, get them to play instead. Easy enough. Or, you know, just tough it out of the Winter Olympics and hope Ray Bradbury wins some more gold medals just by not falling over. Was it Ray Bradbury or was it something else? Something Bradbury, I think. I don't know. Right now, though, oh, there's a random Dire creep all the way in the Radiant jungle. I'm not sure what he's doing in there. Must have followed somebody out. Deep undercover Special Forces creep.
Oh yeah.
Just pissing off. I hate that. It's random creep. You're busy wandering around, you're trying to set up ganks, and suddenly there's this creep for no good reason. There's creep wandering around where they should not be, giving away your position. The enemies, and you know you're just being pinged straight away that you're trying to gank someone. It's very, very annoying.
Yeah, and Vengeful Spirit is coming again towards mid lane. There is a Radiant ward that will spawn him though, so Neolution pretty much on the ball there. But VS is actually going all the way around top, so Puck needs to be careful.
Where's she going? No, she's going to mid. Alright, she's going to try and gank mid. I think she's been spotted though, maybe by Puck. Yeah, okay, there's the ping.
Oh, they're pinging. This VS is in a lot of trouble in fact, because there's all around. No, VS will get out. He needs to get out of there quickly. Although VS is still on the high ground there. Puck will find VS, and VS should just scurry away. Yeah, ping's going.
Yep, she is backing up. Just looking at let's look at his Morphlings. 30 and 18 so far, doing quite well for 5 or nearly 6 minutes in. Tidehunter's to each point. Hasn't needed to use those counter wards yet, as I think VS is in some trouble. Oh, Cold Feet about to stop her dead. There we go, there's a dead VS. Unfortunately getting caught, and that vision range is just messing up. She did stay around for a little bit too long, and no ward vision either. Just really got spotted up there and got taken out. Meanwhile, Shadow Demon returns from the bottom rune. I think he's looking for the 6-minute rune, and he did not get it by the looks of it. Was top. But he's coming bottom to gank. Dragon Knight slightly vulnerable. There are a lot of Eidolons up, and they've got plenty of time left on the clock. Here comes the Banish. Here comes the Nig. No, what? Alright, no Banish. Poison misses. I think the nighttime vision might have screwed him up there. It looked like it was a bit of a misclick there. And here comes the Malefist. I don't know if it's going to do enough damage. The Eidolons are nowhere to be seen. Oh, it converts some more. Doing a fair amount of damage. There's the poison. It's about to pop again. He's got 2 more charges, 3 charges now. There's a dead Dragon Knight. Nice play there. Nice recovery. There was a bit of a miss. I think it was a fog.
Only just got that kill. As Promotory saying it's a bit laggy there. They are playing from New Zealand, so there is going to be a tiny bit of lag/delay. I'm not quite sure what their pings are here.
I'll show the.
But yeah, they did manage to get the kill.
I'll show it in a second, actually, when don't look like we're about to have a clash. We see the Fisher get thrown down, Venture Straight, and moving in Magic Missile. There, the Eidolon's now going to stack some damage, as well as the Creep Wave. Earthshaker in some serious trouble. Doesn't have his Totem Stomp. 5 seconds, though. I don't think he's got time. If he turns around, he's going to get hit by Maleficent. There we go. There's the Maleficent. Anyway, needs to try and stop a stun. Can't do it. He will get taken out. Turns to fly off the Fissure. Doesn't happen. And Ancient Apparition now moving in. Needs to be careful. He's outnumbered right now. Though he's got some backup on the way. And I will just quickly check player pings. Player pings. About 300, 250-ish for SQL. Neolution have a lot less ping than SQL, so yeah. Neolution is sub 200, so I don't think they can complain about lag there.
Computer lag is always an issue.
Oh yeah, true.
Sometimes cut corners with their hardware. But we're going to see just whether or not SQL can deal with a slightly higher ping. This is something all Oceanic players are used to. We don't have Australian servers. We play on US servers, Singapore servers, Hong Kong servers, and just hope for the best. As so far, SQL, they're up 5 kills to 3. And as far as the gold graph goes, they are leading by a bit over 3k gold. So they're not looking too bad here.
That said, Valve, I mean, we don't have servers now, but you should get us some. I mean, it would be a bit of a kick in the pants if Heroes of New Earth gets Australian servers, and we don't.
Morphling has gone from Midas.
Oh, wow. Oh, jeez.
No wonder the gold graph is in their favor.
Okay, so yeah, Fast Midas on Morphling causing some trouble. And at the moment, there might be a bit of a conflict in mid. Puck firing for some illusory orbs. But doesn't seem anything's going to come for it. Vengeful Spirit has got mana up for a stun. Pops up a very good ward there. Spotting that high ground, making sure Shadow Demon is not going to get busted by an unexpected gank there. Meanwhile, Tyno just pulling and farming from that. Still got those cannon walls. Hasn't found a spot to throw them down as of yet. And how is DK doing on the GPM at the moment? DK sitting on 238. Not doing all that hot. This was a little bit worried, but the Eidolons were going to suffer a bit once Dragon Knight could start spamming that flame breath.
He's got a soaring coming. He's sitting at base, so he's going to fly that out to him. That's going to give him a lot more time to use in lane. BS has a soaring of his own. So their mana problems have been pretty much solved, but soaring, of course, does make you take damage. They haven't really got anyone who will be going for any sort of mech or anything like that anytime soon. Storm Spirit is the one struggling most in Neolution, I feel. Unable to get involved. He is level 6 now, so maybe he's going to start looking for some ganks as Puck is looking to get his level 6 at mid lane.
Yeah, Puck has taken over that mid lane. Meanwhile, Storm Spirit busy just jungling it. Look at that poison being ever so frustrating. Pumping away on them. As, Enigma has got his own sovereign. Just trying to remote farm. There we go. Remote farm with Eidolons. Knows there's trouble down here. Doesn't really want to get involved. Being very wise and hanging back. Just microing those Eidolons. He's just going to try and not get them nuked down, because there's a bit of an issue. We'll give away a lot of free gold and experience if he does continually get them nuked down. That's why he keeps dancing them back and forth like that. And you see him, like, he just keeps moving back, because he knows the range on Fissure is scary. He needs to hang way back out of sight. And see, every time they push up the wave a bit, he drops the Enigma back a little bit further. And there we go. Taking some free farm there from those Eidolons, some bonus farm there. But I am oh. Ports are in down bottom. There is a Maleficent. Fissure goes down. The Titan being slow. Doesn't have his 6. Has actually gone for an Anchor Smash build despite being support. Interesting decision there. Black Hole is up and ready to go though.
Yep, and the DK form is up though. That's going to give them some nice pushing power. And with the Flame Breath plus Fissure Fan, because they both have Soarings, they can stand these quite hard. They may look to sort of pressure, chip away at this power, especially while Tide is still waiting on his level 6. Enigma's up to 1500 gold. I would say he's going to go for that fast mech, just to give his team the sort of the nice surviving building, but he could go for a Blink Dagger, but based on the fact the Tide is playing as a support, Enigma's likely to be someone who needs to provide some tanking ability. As there's a DK stun, AA cold feet. Enigma will get frozen, no, oh yeah, barely, but the Fissure is there, cleans up the kill, and DK getting down a bit low will back off.
Enigma just could not retreat fast enough because DK gets a little bit of a speed boost from his ultimate. Just ran in there, popped the stun, and, well, it was lights out from there and not much you can do about it. See, Shadow Demon's gone for some phase, but it's got his magic wand up and running. Meanwhile, Morphling's been given complete free farm. It's 11.5 minutes in. He's already 73 and 41. His last hit so many damn creep there. I guess that's why Puck should screw this lane. I'm not getting any experience here at all. I just left it.
Yeah, he was struggling. It was a trial lane to begin with, and now Morphling, with all that farming on, every time Puck comes in, he can just go right-click Puck. If Puck waits, if Puck uses the phase shift to dodge some right-clicks, then comes the waveform, and Morphling is absolutely destroying this top lane. Ring of Aqua, Midas, Ring of Health, 1,200 gold. Could pick up some treads, could pick up the Perseverance and try and make the link, and he is going to be definitely a hero that Neolution esports have to keep constantly worrying about, thinking how are we going to shut him down later on.
Yeah, at the moment they're just focused on trying to get this tower, like you said. Also, they're just sniping off the Eidolons every now and then. I saw the banish on the bottom lane. Oh, destroys the regeneration rune, so Stormsbrew could not get his hands on it. Meanwhile, it looks like Enigma gets taken out again, although Earthshaker falls deep in enemy territory. Instant trouble. Puck, Kenny's to come in. Doesn't go, and Echo Slam gets popped, and they will lose the Earthshaker. Meanwhile, Stormsbrew having to back up. The stun goes down the Dragon Tower.
Ulti. Ooh. That DK stun stopped the tide advance. He almost got that ulti off on both DK and Storm, but not in time. But, I mean, man, Morphling still farming. Do you think they can actually deal with this Morphling later on if he keeps getting his tree farm?
A chance. Not a chance in hell. They don't... Already their late game is not that strong. Like, Dragon Knight is not as... He's more of an early... Like, the earlier you can carry with him, the better. He's not that good in the late game. And I mean, it's just one of those things. Agility heroes just tend to out-carry just about everything out there. So I don't think he's, even with even farm, he's going to struggle just a bit. And then when Morphling is just free farming the hell out of this, not a chance at all. And there's the Banisher on Storms, but the question is, will they get the stun off in time? Of course, there he goes, burning away. Magic Missile, AA Ultimate coming out. Don't think he's going to do a whole lot. And yet down goes the Storm Spirit. AA Ultimate just managing to hit Shadow Demon, but really not a huge issue. Or the Puck might try and make something of it. No, he doesn't. Hangs back. Dreamcore still on cooldown.
Yeah, but really nice play from BS. It was predicting where the Storm would fly to, and now we're going to see SQL look to roam towards the bottom lane, get a gank on DK, and Neolution esports are playing blind. They haven't got any wards up at the moment, as the AA has not planned those wards, and now DK in trouble. But gosh, this stun. Another stun will come from Enigma. This should be a fairly easy kill. Yeah,
no way he's getting out of this. Yeah, he's cleaned up there by Malefist, as well as some Eidolons beating on him. And Enigma, what is he going to be building first? I'm just looking at his items. He's got Soaring. Looks like he's building a mech. I see the mech hasn't been... The recipe and stuff being built right about now. Shadow Demon, though. What do you think Shadow Demon's going to go for? Maybe a fast 4-star or something? Something utility-based?
I would say 4-star. Yeah, 4-star is quite likely here. Or he could just go for the mech or the pipe if he wants to get that sort of utility. But the 4-star is a very nice pickup. And he is going to go and puck at mid lane. The phase shift is not going to dodge the damage from Purge by the looks of it, and there we go, kill on the puck, the poison stack, we see Soul Catcher doing so much damage.
And Puck, in fact, Tidehunter still hasn't popped the rope, still up and ready to go. He's also got his Arcane Boots, that's also pretty big. One of Tidehunter's pretty core items, does need that to help him manage his mana pool, otherwise he can't do a whole lot. And he did, I find it interesting that he did do the Anchor Smash, but I guess it's because he was mostly jungling, for like sort of jungling, semi-pulling most of the while, so he did need that AoE damage to help clean up the creep waves effectively. Meanwhile, down the bottom line, Enigma just going to spam that conversion. Dragon not responding by breathing fire all over him. And those Eidolons will probably die in a few seconds, getting cleaned up before they can split.
Yeah, but right now the gold graph is getting more and more one-sided. And I mean, this is largely because of Morphling's build going for the Midas and just taking... They haven't actually... Normally when you see this big a gold difference, it's because they've taken a huge amount of towers. But SQL have only taken out 2 tier 1 towers. It's the Midas and just the pure CS. Their farm is a bit out of control at this point, with Morphling on 105 CS at just 15 minutes.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. 105 CS for 15 minutes, although they might finally get a kill on him. Here we go, although he might replicate in just a second. He's got the illusion, but he does... I don't think he has the mana to replicate out.
Didn't have the mana. That was a much needed tank on him. And Tidehunter, meanwhile, mid lane, Puck going down again. SQL are just putting on pressure all over the place, although they won't be too happy with seeing their Morphling go down, but he is definitely on track and more, as his CS is completely out of control.
Indeed, indeed. So the Fishy go down in mid. Vengeful Spirit looking a little vulnerable there, but she's picked up an urn. She's got a little bit of health around. Looks like she's also trying to build a bracer as well. Would not be too surprised if I see drums pop out on her eventually. It's Titan now finally using those counter wards to do, well, basically counter ward. Getting rid of them. Fisher goes down once again, not really doing a whole lot, just poking and harassing, of course. ES has relatively infinite mana thanks to that Soul Ring. Down the bottom lane. Again, Dragon, I know, he hasn't really committed to a build yet. He's gone for the Soul Ring, pretty stock standard. The Ring of Hell can do just about anything. I mean, it looks like he'll probably be going for a tanky build, but that's about it. Because I think if he was going for an armlet, he would have gotten that first.
So armlet's probably not all that common on DK. He's probably just going to pick up the Vanguard, then maybe transition into something, even just like a pipe to give that survivability. And now SQL with the mech up on Enigma treads as well. Enigma nice and tanky, going to give them some nice teamfight capabilities. Tidehunter has Arcane Boots, could go for the pipe on their team. Actually, sorry, Shadow Demon's going to be going for the pipe. So Tidehunter could go for a drums, could go for that Blink Dagger, or even the sort of the somewhat infamous refresher build as they are going to look for a gank. Once again, DK is the target. He's finished his Vanguard. He is in a lot of trouble still.
Yeah, there's just way too much damage to stack. It's one of those things that the Asians, the Chinese specifically, they're very on board with the tank DK. The Europeans, when DK first came out, they just sort of, I saw a lot of armlets. I don't know if it's just...
Another kill on Morphling though. They managed to kill him twice in just a couple of minutes. That's a good sign for them. Slowing down Morphling's farm, but the fact they keep losing their DK at the same time, it means they're not really catching up. They just mean they're just stopping SQL from getting further ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely something they need to turn it. They definitely do need to try and turn it around completely. Morphling's sitting on 446. Morphling, I think, just going a little bit too balls deep in enemy territory to farm. See Illusion, as we see Dreamcoil get thrown down on Shadow. Shadow now banishing himself, trying to save himself there, and the attack gets turned around on Puck. Puck goes down, and now also Vengeful Script might even not going to swap there. No mana up, that's why he didn't swap. I thought he was about to swap Ancient Apparition out when he went for the Wave of Terror, but decided not to. Either way, and Titan still hasn't ravaged.
Wow, and he just bought a Blink Dagger, so now we're going to see some ravage action, I'm sure. I think for the most part, Neolution esports have just been positioning well, making sure Tidehunter can't just walk in and get an ulti. Whenever he tries to walk in, DK will stun him, ES will fissure him, and then they'll just back off together. They're not giving him any chances, which is why he's gone for this Blink Dagger, just to make sure he can get the position for those. As he's now about to hit level 10, he's got the maxed out Anchor Smash, and with a Blink Dagger, he'll be easily able to get in position for the Ravage Anchor Smash.
Definitely. See, yeah, there we go. Level 10 now. Only one more. If you can try and get level 2 before the next team fight, that would be pretty damn big. Again, Morphling going to farm very deep on the enemy side of the map. And if these guys can push mid or try and gank mid, it will draw attention away from that top lane. But it looks like they're just going to go and back him up, actually. I think they could just jump on, and then Morphling now getting dragged back in. Static Remnant doing some damage. As they hear a bit of a fighter up, Puck in some trouble, does Jitheril jaunt out. Doesn't take enough damage to get taken out. Meanwhile, no, it's just Morphling fighting Creep. The Fissure goes down, gets cancelled, the Magic Missile is up, Stormsbrew dives back in, Fissure goes down, gets through, she goes down. There's the Blink and Ravage, so setting things up. Will anybody follow up? Puck throws down Dreamcoil. As Earthshaker, oh not Earthshaker, Spirit, Stormsbrew gets taken out there by the Tidehunter. Now Waveform in, Morphling going in, the Ice Blast goes out, Iceform is, Cold Feet also trapping Shadow Demon there as well. And the Shadow Poison Replicate there on top of the Ancient Apparition. Ancient Apparition will go down. Enigma not opting to use the Black Hole there, not needing to.
Not needing to. It was a very scrappy fight from both sides. Stuff was just going all over the place. Stormstrip went in a bit too deep, got taken out by the Morphling Empire. DK wasn't even there. He's at bottom, trying to get this Tier 1 tower, and with a couple of right clicks, he will get it, although VS will try and get that deny.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
See what's happening there. Did she get it? No, she did not. Dragonite taking that tower kill. Definitely something they needed. Question is, what will he build next? It looks like he's trying to build power treads at the which is fair enough. Pretty relatively core item. I hear the port out. It looks like DK knows it's Earthshaker coming in. Has he got Echo up? He's got Echo up. He might go in for the Echo Slam. There's the Echo Slam. Go on, pop it now. There's the Echo. Ice Blast as well. Down goes Shadow Demon as well as Enigma. Morphling looking in a slightly dangerous position. Stormspirit could chase after him, though he's Morphling health rapidly. Stormspirit considering, I think he'll pull out though.
Yeah, a nice couple of kills there, picked up by Neolution esports, and that's what they needed. Kills on two key heroes, the Shadow Demon as well as the Enigma. Enigma who has finished that Blink Dagger, although it didn't save him there. SQL just in a bit too deep, as now Neolution esports look to try and take out a few more towers of their own. They want this mid tower. They've got 4 heroes there. DJ still farming away. Hasn't really shown too much about what he wants to get. He has got treads up, and maybe just going to go for that BKB next.
I think that would be perfect fine. Will help him deal with the constant damage coming out of both the Shadow as well. It's just, it'll allow him to avoid getting locked down by a big Ravage as well. Obviously, Black Hole will still be a bit of a problem, but also, Malthus, the other annoying stance there, the poison gets thrown down, and the Fissure is down. Dragon Tail, Ice Blast, Shadow Demon getting obliterated. Midnight Pulse, as well as that Black Hole, not going to manage to suck in anybody else, as it looks like he's getting knocked out of it. Although Dragonite very low, Malthus now on top of Dragonite. Dragonite will go down, wait for him from Morphling. And can Morphling chase up in? There is a Gush as well. Ravish is up 14 seconds away. Probably won't be up for this fight. And the slows get thrown. There is a Fissure as well. But Ancient Apparition getting cleaned out. And if Tidehunter comes out of that stun anytime soon, he could try and set up something. These guys stick around. It looks like they're going to back up. As Storm Spirit busy farming his bottom lane. I mean, they could swing through here. It looks like they might swing through here and try and gank him. Because Storm Spirit a little vulnerable there. Doesn't really have that much.
Yeah.
He's got no health, no mana up. He might actually choose to teleport out in a second. Yeah, there we go. He's realised, okay, I might be in a bit of trouble. Cleans up that lane, pushes it back, and then teleports on out home. That makes perfect sense there.
And right now, SQL, I mean, they've had this big lead for a long time, but they haven't really used it all that well. The last few fights have been a bit back and forth. And that sort of goal graphic was going steadily down, but now it's starting to sort of flatten out as Neolution have put together some good sequences of play. And going for a Minus is great for Morphin to get that golden levels up. But it's still 2k gold spent, and that doesn't really help you out in those team fights. Morphling, Lincoln, 1600 gold. Probably, I would say he's going to go for the shotgun build here. Just try to look to maybe take out heroes such as Storm Spirit, AA, or ES from the fight, from the start. Wow, ES actually has found the Blink Dagger.
That's actually relatively amazing. I did not think he would have that up and running by now, though I suppose AA has been doing the bulk of the body. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, looks like Dragonite again. Oh man, he's been a real calm tonight. He's just getting caught out so many times. They might actually survive, so the mech gets popped there by the Dire side. There is the Ravage. Down goes Dragonite. The Ice Blast just missing. Poor old Vengeful Spirit though. She goes down in the end to Earthshaker. Earthshaker though getting cleaned up by Eidolons. But I've got to say, Dragonite gets picked off so many times. This is ridiculous. Yeah. You see how many deaths now?
Oh, 5 deaths.
Yeah.
He's been struggling a lot. He's at 83 CS, which still isn't even all that great compared to Morphling, Shadow Demon. Even the Enigma has more than him, so SQL dominating the CS chart. Storm is the closest, sitting on 97. We'll just have to wait and see whether or not they can deal with this SQL team getting very, very farmed. Storm Street has an ultimate although, so try and make either a Lincoln or a Sheepstick there, I would say.
Definite possibility. Again, Shadow Demon has found himself an invisibility rune, has got another staff, has got a staff of wizardry. I'm assuming a 4 staff on him. He might go in here and annoy Storm Spirit for a bit, or he might not. Guess we'll find out in a second. See, Ice Blast going through. Looks like it's getting aimed at Morphling. Yes, it is. There's that Ice Blast. Still only level 1, I believe, though. It's still only level 1 Ice Blast, which is a shame. It's really, really damn good at level 2. There's people asking, what are the teams? It's there on your screen, guys. It's right there on your screen.
It is Neolution Esports. For those of you who don't know Neolution Esports, they're from Thailand. They're one of the top teams there. Them and Mith.trust are kind of like the 2 cornerstones of Thai Dota. And over on the Dire team is SQL, Sequential Gaming, formerly known as Giga, and they are from New Zealand.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, you know, New Zealand, Australia, whatever. There goes the Fissure, gonna shut down this Morphling. Morphling getting jumped again. Swapped out. Nice try to save, but does get taken. It looks like Vengeful Spirit's gonna pay for her life as well. She will go down in just a moment. Yeah, taking a lot of damage. Will get snapped. No! Counter earning now. She might actually live. There's the poison getting thrown out. And amazingly enough, wow. She manned up. Oh wait, she's roadkill now. Never mind. In fact, she manned up and somehow did not get taken out. So who are they chasing there? They're chasing Shadow. Shadow's in a lot of trouble. The pipe is off, goes on cooldown. Gets locked down by Cold Feet. Very, very dead there.
And another more kills. SQL, they'll get ahead, they'll get some towers, and suddenly they'll just get caught out of position. Neolution Esports will punish them for some bad positioning, and that's just what happened there. Morphling got picked off. VS got picked off because of it, and then Shadow Demon got picked off because of that as well. It's just this chain effect where one hero gets caught out, they go to try to protect him, and they just end up losing more because of it. As DK, again at bottom lane, is going to find himself getting ganked.
Again, being slightly silly. Ravage is up if they do need to use it. I don't think they will, just because Ty can give chase relatively easily, and they don't have to worry about anybody porting in close to towers. And there we go, just going to drop the gush into him and finish him up. I don't know what he's got no ward vision? What is he doing this far? What is he doing this deep on the enemy side of the map? I mean, surely he knows he's getting a gank, because I mean, he's been getting ganked left, right, and so every time he even pushes out slightly on that bottom lane. So pushing all the way to the tower, surely that is asking for trouble, gods.
Yeah, it's just way too far. Morphling's doing the same thing though at top lane. I mean, we saw it there. Even with those observer wards, there's some nicely placed SQL wards behind the tower as well as in front of the tower. They really want to protect that Morphling at top, and they've got vision in the enemy jungle. I mean, SQL are really on top of the warding at the moment, although they may run a bit low on wards later on, as you can only have so many of them. Morphling up to 3.4k gold. Going to pick up that Eagle Song and probably look to get that Ethereal Blade up as quickly as possible.
Yes, of course, Ethereal Blade on Morphic, just such a fantastic item. Gives him so much burst damage when combined with Adaptive Strike.
Roshan has fallen to the
See the pipe getting popped. The push is happening from the rating though on the top lane. Looks like they're going to try and take out the first tier tower. Only 520 health left. They should be able to manage this unless mass ports coming to hold them off. And honestly, meanwhile, it looks like the Dire team more interested in pushing the other lanes. Or maybe causing trouble for Heroes. Dragonheart again being chased off. But the Dire, they are rolling top. But it looks like they're going to lose this tower before anything can come of their defense.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And yeah, Puck going to port out, going to go home. As well as AAA also porting out. Earthshaker, the only one getting to walk it. Gets gushed. Oh, he's so screwed. No, he gets banished. Cancels the port. Going to get killed here for sure. No real way he can get out of this. Trying to stomp, just delay the kill, gets taken out anyway, thanks to Tidehunter. With his Anchor Smash, Tidehunter really doing a lot of damage there. 225 damage on a 4-second cooldown. Even AoE, very, very nasty. Even though he didn't get that farm, that early farm.
Yeah. And now SQL picking up some big hit items. Enigma has finished his BKB. Morphling 100 gold from his Ethereal Blade. And with ES down, ES only down 30 seconds. They're not going to be able to push in to the tier 2 tower and rack in that time. But they've got the Aegis, they've got the Ethereal Blade, they've got the BKB on Enigma. And there's nothing that can stop him from using that black hole with the BKB on the Radiant team. So this is going to be a very hard fight to defend. For Neolution Esports, they've got 3k on Storm, so he's getting very close to his sheep stick. And maybe they can use that to jump the Enigma before the BKB is popped.
That would definitely be helpful if they can do that. Now Shadow Demon just picked up his 4th staff. Look at Titan, he's got the drums. Morphling, yeah, still looks like he's working towards that. Actually, I think a Courier's coming now. There's somebody behind. Oh, smoke on the Vengeful Spirit, very deep in there. Although I think they feel that they're comfortable in doing it. And oh, Black Hole stacking the stun a little bit so that he might get away. No, it will go down. I was about to say. Probably should have waited just as that was about to finish. Doesn't matter in the end anyway. They do take the kill.
I think with that Neolution Esports should be able to defend, because Storm can actually buy back now and then come defend. And that could even catch SQL by surprise if he buys back, and you can't just run because he can just fly after you, and they're going to look to go in here. ES is actually smoked, so he's going to find it a lot easier to blink in and ulti. There's the buyback. They're going to be looking for a big blink rabbit, a blink ES ulti, and there we go. They get one, well, they're going to get a second here. The entire Neolution Esports team taking a lot of damage. The Pipe, the Mech, working wonders, and the Morphling with the shotgun build, taking out one, taking out two, taking out the Storm Spirit. Wow, what a big team fight there. The BKB, the Pipe, the Mech, keeping SQL alive.
Very, very strong. I mean, 4 for 1, great trade there. Ice Blast not up yet, so it looks like it's a pretty easy rack. So they've got 30 seconds to take this racks. They've got plenty of creep. I mean, they can spawn Eidolons in a second if they want to. Actually, no, they've already got them up and running. I can't see them there. All frosted up. And they're actually diving in there on HD Average. HD Average has made a terrible mistake. Will get taken out. And the rack's about to also go down as well. And guys, this is looking pretty... I don't know, would you say that SQL are making really awesome plays, or would you say that Neolution are just making some slightly bad ones here?
I'd say SQL got really far ahead early on, and then after they got this, they got that 10k gold lead up. I mean, that was what, maybe 15 minutes into the game? And from then, Neolution Esports still played pretty well. I mean, for a team behind by 10k gold, they managed to get some good fights, managed to get some kills. But in the end, SQL just had too much farm, too many items like the BKB, the Ethereal Blade on Morphling, and they're just getting kill after kill. They'll get the mid-racks here. And with that, I think SQL have sealed the deal.
Yeah, well, with an early... I mean, basically Morphling just out of control way too fast. And that shotgun, like, he just used it on Earthshaker, pretty much insta-gived him. Dived him under 3 towers, insta-gived him, and then ran away laughing. And they've taken this mid-rack. Might even sweep the bottom for Megas, or I mean, they might even just push down. And look at this Morphling. He's gunning. He's got Ethereal Blade up in 20 seconds. He's probably gun for a kill then. Just needs to be careful. He doesn't get dragged into the fountain. Actually decides to dive on top of that Storm Spirit. Now backing up. And if anybody can provide the stun there on Storm Spirit, Storm Spirit is going to be in some serious trouble.
Yep, and I think they're just going to go for this bottom racks maybe now. And Morphling waving on over. They're going to right-click this down. And the Ethereal Blade is back up. Who is he going to go for here? The entire Radiant base losing all their infrastructure, and now SQL. Some solid play from them. I mean, it wasn't as convincing as I've seen them play, but still, oh yes, ulti, Morphling goes down, but still SQL did enough to get the win.
Yeah, well, Morphling had the Aegis even, so they won't even bother. Now Storm Spirit diving in, it looks like Morphling gonna shotgun this. Well, yep, there we go. Shotguns the Ancient Apparition. Storm Spirit's still fighting though. Does try to go toe-to-toe with Venom Spirit. Doesn't manage to do it though. Has to run, realizing he is massively outnumbered. And now he's pretty much out of mana. This could be bad news from Morphling. In fact, replicating over there. Very smart play there from Envy, bringing down the Storm Spirit, getting the triple kill. Megas are up. I'm pretty sure they're up. No, they're not quite. One last frax to give it up, but it looks like DK also getting turned into fodder. And Enigma now blinking in a body block. Didn't even bother casting spell. There you go. There come the Mega Creeps. And this is, yep, this is game over. So it looks like we'll be jumping out of this one pretty soon. Guys, I'm going to end this one quickly just because we've got the next match starting very soon, so we should get set up for that. So guys, we've been watching Sequential Takeout. Neolution here in pretty strong form. But anyway, guys, we'll be back very shortly. We've got, what was it? We've got Tongfu versus Ice coming up very soon, so stay tuned.